So we were in process of discussing different steps involved in processing of data for additive manufacturing process, right? So the first step is CAD modeling. Then you have to convert a CAD model into STL file. Then you have to do a part orientation, support structure generation based on the part orientation, slicing, tool path generation, then physical fabrication and post processing. So this is the way in which data is processed from virtual CAD data to a final physical data in any additive manufacturing process. So in the previous lecture, we did discuss about how to generate a CAD model, what are the different methods available to generate CAD, especially for additive manufacturing process. And then we did discuss about what is STL file, why do you require STL file for additive manufacturing process, what are the parameters you have to take care when you generate a STL file. So this thing we did discuss in last lecture. So in today's lecture, we are going to see the third part, that is part orientation. How to do a part orientation for additive manufacturing process. What is the standard methodology used for part orientation, or what are the things you have to take care when you do a part orientation. So there was a connection issue. So I hope now is it audible, right? Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
So the third step is part orientation. So to understand the part orientation, I have already communicated which is a turbine blade. The turbine blade model is shown here. So if you look into the aircraft, you all put an aircraft engine, right? So in the aircraft engine, you can see the multiple turbine blade which are assembled on a shaft. One part of a blade which is shown here is taken for our case study. So this is what we have taken for our case study. So one blade, and this is very critical part, and nowadays most of the parts, this type of parts are having application in additive manufacturing. You can see a lot of case study on manufacturing of this part, which is used in aircraft through additive manufacturing process, and why it is very vital for this part in additive that is discussed in a lot of case study. Anyway, we will discuss that later. So this part I have taken as a case study and to do the demo class for the remaining part of our second module. So the part orientation. Now you all can open your Cura software. So I'll share the Cura screen with you. So could you able to see the screen? Yes, could you all able to see the screen? Cura.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now could you able to see Cura window?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what you all can do is those who have opened the Cura software, uh, you forget about the model which I have already placed. So we are going to see the path orientation in additive manufacturing with the simulation setup. So what you all can do, you can go to this view. Sorry, you can keep your window in prepare. Prepare. So click prepare. So you'll be getting this window. And if you are not getting any mission, you can click here. So if you click here, you can add a printer. For example, this particular software, whatever we have taken, this software is more compatible for FDM process, material extrusion based additive manufacturing principle, FDM process. So if you go to add printer, if you go to add printer, you have lot of options listed down. So these are all different FDM machine. For example, Nava 3D LLC is a FDM machine, filament extrusion based additive manufacturing machine, but different company. Print Robot, Sura 3D, Rise 3D. So these are all different machine manufacturer or different machine. In our lab, we have this Vano machine. So, but for demo class, we are going to select Ultimaker. Under Ultimaker, we select this Ultimaker original dual extrusion. Ultimaker, Ultimaker original dual extrusion. So once you are done with that, you can add that machine and close the window.
Sir, your screen is stuck.
Hello, hello. So go to add printer. In add printer, select add non-network printer. In that, under Ultimaker, you select Ultimaker original dual extrusion. So can I proceed to next step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first step because this software is compatible for many machine. So which machine you have in your facility or which machine you are about to purchase or you are about to print a part, if that database is available in almost most of the machine database are covered. So that machine setup will be virtually created in the software. So if suppose within Ultimaker there might be another machine which is smaller than principle wise all are FDM. Why I am selecting machine? Because certain machine will support certain materials. For example, if you go to the second tab, you can see the arrow mark here. So if you click arrow mark, it will display a material. So what are the material feasible in Ultimaker? What you have selected. So first step is to select a mission. Second step, based on the mission, all other parameters will be displayed to your software. So make sure that you select the appropriate mission or a mission what you want to work on in the initial step itself, right? In the second step, you all can go to the material part. You can see the downward arrow. So there are two extruder because the mission what I have selected, it has two extruder, right? So first extruder can be used for part and second extruder can be used for support. So within first extruder, I have taken just take I will take ABS, orange ABS. Different within ABS, we can also work on different color, and those color have again another set of parameters, the melting temperature and the other resolution. So I have taken ABS, color is also selected. This second extruder I am using it for support. So support again under Ultimaker. Let us take PCS, a PC, black color PC. So under polycarbonate, again it will display what are the material feasible in second extruder. So either you can select a distant material, or within the second extruder you can work on low sparse density. So color is also visible. Have you completed this step, material selection? Any clarification you required on?
Sir, can you show it again?
Okay. After selecting a printer, you have to go to the machine. That is the second tab. In the second tab, you can see the arrow mark here. So if you click this arrow mark, you can see two, 1, 2. This 1 and 2 represent two extruder. So first extruder, sometimes you can also disable it. You can also disable it, but make both extruder are enabled, tick. And under material, since we have selected Ultimaker, so Ultimaker property will be shown to you. So under Ultimaker, Ultimaker support different material. Suppose if you take ABS, within ABS it will support different color. So for this demo class, we have selected the orange ABS, right? Then the second extruder is a support. You can use it for support, or you can also print a multiple color component. So second material, again under second material, same Ultimaker. It will display the list of material which you can have for second. So I have taken polycarbonate black color. Just I have selected material and material color which are available in Ultimaker. Is it fine? Can I proceed to next step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now there are a lot of parameters. I think this might not be visible to you now. You can all see. Can you see this in your window? Find some pattern off on. Could you all able to see this in your window?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In this, you go to edit. At the end, you have. So what is this and how to select this, that we will discuss in subsequent class. But for this part orientation, go to edit. So under edit, profile default, you keep it as 0.1. Infill density, keep it as 80%. So what is infill, what is profile, that I will discuss in subsequent class. That is based on tool path and slicing. So I will discuss those points in subsequent lecture. So for the part orientation demo, you keep profile as 0.1 and infill density as 80. So you require a support or not? So you tick yes, I require a support structure. Which extruder you want to use as a support? I have selected second extruder. I want to use it as a support. Enable support and click the second extruder as a support. Adhesion. Adhesion will tell you the information about how the part get adhered to the table. So there should be some layer to adhere the printed part with the table, and this layer should be easy to remove from the table after printing. So again, within adhesion you can go with multiple parameters. So as of now you enable adhesion. So you can see enable printing brim or raft. I will tell you what is brim or raft. This will add a flat area under your object which is easy to cut off from the table after printing. So is it fine? Can I proceed to next step? All these parameters are set. Default infill percentage is 80. Support material enabled, and I'm using second extruder as a support material, black color, and adhesion. Can I proceed to next step?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So once you have done this, now you can open a file. You can go to this arrow at the
Sir,
corner. Yeah, tell me.
sir, in infill, what is this gradual infill?
No, that I'll tell you. The infill is a separate topic. As of now, we are discussing only part orientation.
Okay,
Subsequently, we
sir.
will also discuss about infill. Infill, I'll tell you what are the different options available in infill. I'll tell you. Right? You can go
Yes, sir.
to the top corner, top left corner. You can see the folder here. Folder image is shown. Right? You click on the folder. So wherever you have that STL file, I hope you all have extracted the RAR file. So you locate the STL file. I will give 1 minute time. You all can locate your file. Just don't open it as of now. Just open this window, select window, and keep this ready. I'll give 1 minute time. You all please, if still you are in RAR, I think we may have issue to directly open this. So extract the RAR file. Then the extracted file will have a folder. So within the folder you will have the STL file. Please open this STL file and keep this window ready.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, how you change the color of ABS to orange, sir?
Others can work on this. I'll explain the process again. So you can see the second tab. Under second tab, you have an arrow mark, right? So if you click the arrow mark, you'll be getting another two tabs. So this is first extruder. Okay. So did you get this first extruder, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only the color, sir.
Under first extruder, you go to material. Again, drop down box will be there. Under material, we have selected Ultimaker, right? So you select Ultimaker mission. Again, Ultimaker mission will display list of material available. So I have taken ABS. Again, in ABS, different colors of ABS is also shown here. So in this, you can select orange. Is it fine for you? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
able
Yes,
to
sir. Got
trace
it.
this? Okay. Okay.
Got it.
Just for demo, we have taken it as orange, so that it will be visible for you. So all of you have keep this file ready, turbine. You may not have this two turbine because I have placed it for some other purpose. And so, is it ready? Can you proceed? Turbine blade STL file. None of you have opened this STL file. Hello. One of you can give a reply so that I will proceed for the next step. At least
Yes,
one.
sir, open.
Yes,
Now,
sir, done, sir.
now, if you look here, this is the mission. So, as I mentioned initially, we have a restriction in additive manufacturing process. We cannot print a component greater than the size of a machine. So, this is a built volume for Ultimaker dual extruder, right? So, you have to open the file and make sure that you are positioning the file within the white color region. You can see the white color region, right? So if you keep the white file within the white color region, then the machine will the software will allow you to do the subsequent process. If the size of the component is greater than the size of the machine, obviously you cannot print, right? Physically you cannot do. Similarly, when you drag the STL file in multiple position, it may go out of the machine also. Some portion might be inside, some portion might be outside. Sometimes you can drag up and down because virtually you can do anything. So it may hit a table or it may go below the table also. So if such things are observed, then the machine will not allow you to do subsequent process. So make sure that whatever the way you are inserting the file, make sure that the file is within the blue color region, and within the blue color region the file volume should be within the white color area, because if you exceed beyond this, the machine will have a hindrance in terms of nozzle movement. So that is very critical. So all of you could able to see the white color region inside the volume, white color
Yes, sir.
surface. Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
you click the turbine blade, give open. So now the turbine blade. Already I have had two turbine blade, but for your case, you may have only one turbine blade. That is fine, no issue. Alright. Now, similarly, I can bring multiple turbine blade. Okay, I will delete this. Okay, let us see with one turbine blade. Now, using your right mouse, you can rotate the box. Right click on mouse, you can rotate the volume. Could you all able to rotate the chamber? So this is the table, and this is the volume image. So the part is loaded. So that is what is the first step? You have to create a CAD model. So there's a turbine blade which you can create using any CAD software. But this turbine blade has a synthetic feature. It is not a linear feature. There is a difference between linear feature or analytical feature and synthetic feature. What is analytical feature? The CAD model will have only straight line or curved shapes or elliptical parabola shape. Then it is synthetic model, analytical model. All your surface will have basic shapes, and this basic shape equation can be obtained through line or circle. What is synthetic model? Synthetic model will have a surface uh, which have a customized equation. It may not have a standard equation like x square plus y square is equal to r square, or y is equal to mx plus c, because once you have a circle and line, you can generate all other curves, right? So if your model have only those feature, then it is analytical shape model. But here the turbine blade is a synthetic feature. It has a separate equation. NACA equation is there. Airfoil shape can be generated based on different equations. So again, the modeling is also very critical. Using equation, you have to generate a profile. So that is CAD modeling. Then I will save the CAD model into STL file. Only if you have a STL file, then you can import this into a software. You cannot import a CAD model into this software. You have to save the CAD model into STL file. So what is STL? Why we require STL? That we have discussed in last lecture. Now we brought the STL file into the machine. The third step. Now in the machine, I can print a model in any orientation. For example, again, you all can repeat this step. Go to File, go to Folder, select the same turbine blade, give Open. So you'll get another turbine blade, right? So you just select this turbine. You can all see the blue color contour onto the machine. Now you can drag the axis, because I'm printing layer by layer. So you can drag or you can position it anywhere within the white color region. So I can print 2 model at a time. I can print 5 model at a time. So as of now, I will explain only with 2 model. So this is the model. Now I want to print a part. So I have to slice. Before to slice, you can see the red color region in the part. Could you all able to see the red color region? This red surfaces. Could you able to see the red surfaces?
Yes, sir.
So this red surfaces are downward facing surface. I cannot directly print a surface in additive manufacturing. So it requires a support structure. So if you give slice on the bottom right corner, you can see the slice. Could you all be able to see the slice?
Yes, sir.
If you give slice, it will slice the CAD model. It will take some time to slice it. It will slice the CAD model. That is, it will cut a model into n number of layers, and it will tell you, you can see 10 grams. That is, to print the model, you require 10 gram of material. Since the material is wounded in a filament, the length of the filament wire is 1.33 meter. So virtually you can see how much material is required for this component and how long it will take to print. To print a part, you require 1 hour 56 minutes. So you can see the time requirement and material requirement. In the raw material, what is the length of the filament you require? If you are planning for printing, you can calculate based on the parameter whatever I have set here. You can calculate a time as well as material consumption. Is it fine? All of you could be able to see this in your window, time taken and material consumption.
Yes, sir.
You can close this this window. That is a print setting window. You can close this print setting. Now I have to preview at the time of printing how it will look like. So you can go to the top middle. You can see prepare, preview, and monitor. Monitor you cannot do, because if you want to monitor, you have to connect with a physical machine. But preview you can do. You click preview. It will take some time. Now, have you got a window of preview? All of you
Yes, sir.
be able to see. Now you can see that right corner there is a black color line which display 2 dot. You can adjust the top dot. I'll adjust here. If you see, so this model is sliced because I have, after importing the STL file, I have sliced it, right? So this software have sliced the model into 456 layers. So if you drag up and down, the respective layer can be seen in the volume. So could you all able to see the model? So this how layer by layer it will print. First it will print a raft. So this is what I have mentioned here. In the print setting, I mentioned about adhesion. So adhesion is nothing but requirement of raft to remove the support after printing. So first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. This is how it will be printed layer by layer. If you run this, if you run the video simulation video at the bottom, you have an arrow mark, so it will tell you how the nozzle will print. So orange color part material which is printed. You can see the nozzle movement. Could you all able to see the nozzle movement? The
Yes, sir.
simulation. If there is any issue you are facing in simulation or the method what we have followed, you can stop me in between so that I will give an explanation again. So all of you could be able to follow those who have a software. This is very critical, and what we are doing is a skill development. I am not teaching any theoretical part, but if you could have a skill, you can answer the theoretical part. You will have a questions based on the skills. Could you all be able to see the deposition? So this how the additive manufacturing process will print a part. One layer you can see in the. Now, if you drag down, go to slice. If you still drag down, it will deposit both support and material. You can see from the model. Now it is printing support, black color material. It is printing because until this region you require a support. As I have mentioned initially, these are all downward facing angles. So now the support is printed by using one extruder. Now the part is getting printed, model, orange color. So why this pattern and how to select the best pattern, that we will discuss in the slicing and tool path generation. This is what I mentioned in FDM as a raster angle. You can see the raster pattern, right? So the raster angle and the raster angle and the distance between one raster to another raster, contour, and how many number of contour you have. So is it fine? Could you all able to see the printing simulation? Can I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Now you can stop this. If you put in full view, you can see the support material. So if you look at the top, again you have view type. In the top you can see view type. So X-ray view will tell you the original model. So this is the model we have done in CAD, and this is the final part. And could you able to trace X-ray view? X-ray view. Layer view. So layer view will display both support as well as path. You can see both support as path. You can also see the draft also. Raft, support. Shall I proceed further? Yes. Can I proceed for next topic?
Yes, sir.
Now we will see the path orientation. So now I have to make sure that if those who are saying yes will get some mark, then I'll get immediate reply, right? Now again we go to the fold. Sorry, prepare. Keep it in prepare. Go to the folder. You can open. So prior to that, you can see at the bottom, time taken is 1 hour and the material consumption is 10 gram, right? Maybe instead of that, instead of opening a new file, just you close that. Select one model. Select any one model. I think so you all can select this model, which is at the center. Select rotate. So this is what I mentioned. Since we are going to add a material layer by layer, you can add a material at any orientation. For example, just I have rotated 30 degree. So yes, I have rotated 30 degree. You can also rotate in x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So this is what I told you about 360 degree of freedom in all three axes you have when you want to print a material. So that will add a freedom. At the same time, it will ask you to give a optimized orientation. So it will be very difficult if you are dealing with very complex component, which angle and which angle with which axis is a perfect orientation for your printing. So that we will discuss in subsequent topic. But as of now, you have to understand that as you are adding material layer by layer, you have multiple degrees of freedom. That is 360 degrees of freedom in all three axes. So just I have rotated this alone 30 degrees. So have you completed the rotation process?
Sir, can you please tell again how to rotate?
Control Z. You select this model. You can see
Okay.
the once you selected here on the left, you can see the options. 5, 6 options are available. Third option is rotate. You have to select third option, rotate. Have you traced this rotate?
Yes, sir.
So once you select rotate, you can also use this for doing a rotation option, or simply you can click any one of the circle. If you click red circle give rotation about the red axis. You can see the axis at the corner. Green circle will give rotation about this axis. So I have selected green circle. Select a green circle. Then you tilt. Sorry. Maybe instead of green, let us select blue. Blue is also rotating. Okay, green. Because if you do green, you can see the visible rotation. So 15 degree, 30 degree. Would you be able to do this rotation?
Yes, sir.
So the respective axis, that is what 360 degree of freedom in respective axis you have. So I hope you all got two model. Again, once you change a parameter, again you have to do a slice. See, the slice option is available here. So again, you click slice, it will do the slicing for this orientation. That is the reason path orientation has to be done before slicing. Path orientation has to be done before support structure. So it will tell you, now this model required 1 hour for 59 minutes. I think it is 10 minutes higher than the previous model. And the material consumption is 9 gram, 1.32 meter. I think it is different from what we have seen. In the previous setup, both model is in vertical direction. Now you can see the preview. So now you can see the support structure requirement. So as per the orientation, in the previous case, the support structure required might be less. In this case, since I have done an inclination, the support structure requirement as well as the shape of the support structure will also vary. So in this case, the entire model is surrounded by support structure. You can see the closer view. If you drag the slice, you can see the support. So as you can see, if both are aligned vertical, this is the support required. But if you do an inclination, and inclination will change the support requirement also, and sometimes it will increase the support requirement. So what you have to understand from this point, you have multiple way of orienting a part, and this multiple way of orienting a part will have a significant impact on support material consumption. And as the material is going to be charged for support, the orientation will also have a significant impact on cost of printing. So it is advisable to select a suitable orientation of a part to minimize the support consumption as well as to minimize the cost of printing. So that is the main objective of doing a part orientation, because any orientation you can do, it is feasible in virtual method. And according to the orientation, you can see the support structure, because based on the orientation, the support requirement will also change. So that will have a major effect on material consumption as well as the part cost of printing. So is this point is clear to everyone? The impact of support structure and how to do the impact of orientation on support structure and cost, and why the part orientation is very critical in additive manufacturing process. So this
Sir,
yeah.
sir, is that 9 grams the material is for only the support structure or the both main material?
Both. If you look at this I, if you go to this I information, it will display the. You can see orange ABS is 1.13 meter and 8 grams. Right? Black PC is for support, and that consumed is 1 gram. Maybe the cost value is not mentioned. Some software will, or you can take the cost value from web and you can calculate what will be the cost. So the software will help you to understand about the time of printing, material required for printing, and cost of printing. Only fabrication cost. Then with the fabrication, you have to add a machine utilization plus manpower cost to finalize the cost of printing. So this cost is only for material consumption. Any other doubt you have? The other parameters, that is infill, inner wall, outer wall, that we will discuss in subsequent classes. This comes under the other topic, other data processing. So this is what we are doing in data processing. From CAD to step by step, how we are transferring the layer information to the machine. I hope until third step you are clear. Can I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So maybe I can demonstrate one more. So it is 1 hour 59 minutes, 9 gram, right? So let me do the orientation for 90 degree. I kept it horizontally. Again, I will do a slice. I think in the previous case, 1 hour 59 minutes and 9 gram. Right? Let us see what is the effect on this case. So it is 2 hours 6 minutes. I didn't change much parameter. You can see further change if you change other parameters, principal parameter. Now it is 10 grams. Right? Could you able to understand the difference? You can see the preview also. So this is support. You can see the support. See the simulation part. Is it clear to everyone how the support are generated and the role of part orientation on support structure generation? So is this slides are visible? Slides are visible?
No, sir.
Okay. So just in another 2 minutes, we'll close this session. The part orientation is going to have a major role on support structure. You can see these two figures. If you do a vertical orientation, support requirement, horizontal orientation, support requirement. So you may not say this is the first is best. Again, it depends on other parameters. For example, if you take this orientation, it have an inclined surface. And this inclined surface will produce a staircase effect. So the orientation is done not only to minimize the support and minimize the cost. You should also look into the finish, because if you print in this orientation, this surface will have a better finish. When you print in this orientation, though the material consumption is less, this surface may not be as good as this surface because it is oriented in inclined way, and the inclined results in staircase effect. As we all know that when you print an inclined or non-linear geometry in z-axis, if you print in xy, there is no issue because in xy the contour is taken in a single layer. But in z, if you are varying layer by layer, the staircase effect will be a major one. So apart from the cost and material consumption, you should also take into the consideration of surface finish. If this surface is highly functional for you, then you have to look into the functionality of the surface, and based on that you have to select the support. And one more part is strength requirement. For example, the way in which you orient will also have an effect on strength. For example, in this case, as I printed in this orientation, if I apply a load on the top surface, the interface will easily get propagate and you will get a failure. Whereas in the second case, if I apply a load on this direction, the layer is printed in a single contour. So the interface is along the axis of a hole. But in this case, the interface is perpendicular to the axis of the hole. So you have to select, you have to decide whether my load is perpendicular to the axis of a hole or along the axis of a hole. So if it is along the axis of a hole, if the load is acting along the axis of the hole, that is, this is the axis, and in the same direction I'm going to apply a load, then the first orientation is best. If we apply along the axis in the second, again along the axis you have an interface, so this will easily get damage, or you may have a less strength. So the ultimate objective of part orientation is to minimize the support structure, to minimize the cost of printing, to improve the surface finish, or to print a support with a functional surface which are very critical, and also to optimize the strength, in which direction you require the strength. So if you look overall, you may end up with a multi-objective optimization. If you do a orientation for one objective, the other objective may not get satisfied. So it is very critical to do a optimized structure. So how to do a optimized structure? There are set of rules and regulations. So these rules and regulations we will discuss in next session. So if you follow these rules and regulations, you could able to optimize the print orientation, that is path orientation. So that rules and regulation we will discuss in subsequent classes.